alcoholism, a terrible disease. It destroys families, robs us of our jobs and homes. There is an answer. Every day, individuals and their families are learning how to beat the disease with the help of the Muskingum Alcoholism Center and Perry County Drug and Alcohol Abuse Council. And you are at the heart, the United Way.
WHIZ-TV, Zanesville.
Last year, Zanesville traveled to Newark, shutting out the Wildcats 21-0 behind the running of Chris Gators and the pass receiving of Larry Dickinson. Tonight, ZHS tries to make it 3 in a row over the Newark Wildcats in our Game of the Week on WHIZ-TV.
ABC Sports and WHIZ-TV present the High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Jeffers Ford, Southeastern Ohio's newest volume Ford dealer. Cons, good potato chips taste like Cons. Pepsi-Cola bottling of Zanesville. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation. Mr. Money'sworth, it's more than his name, it's his promise. Mutual Federal Savings, celebrating 100 years of service to Southeastern Ohio. Village Inn Pizza, great Italian food at family prices. Mideast Ohio Vocational School District, with classes to suit your needs. And McDonald's of Cambridge and Zanesville. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
Well, what can you say about this game that hasn't been said all week long? It's Newark and Zanesville, the 81st meeting, and it should be a damn.
Well, it should be. The game needs no introduction. Everybody knows this is the week. It's Halloween. There's a lot of tricks in the air, and it's going to be a great game.
Keep in mind, too, Whitparks came to Zanesville 3 years ago. A year prior to when Zanesville got shut out at Newark 47-0, and Zanesville has won 2 in a row, and Whit certainly would like to make it a threesome.
Well, they won so impressively last year. Of course, that's history. This year they've got a pretty good club, and on paper you'd think they'd be better than Newark, but again, you throw in that rivalry.
Zanesville 6-3 has had some problems the last couple of weeks with the offense, but they feel that they've made some adjustments and they'll be ready to go because they've had most of the problems due to turnover.
Exactly. They need to cut down on fumbling the ball and interceptions. Obviously, the turnovers that Coach Parks has addressed to you and myself. And if they do that, they'll be very successful.
As per usual, some controversy associated with this game. An article in the Newark Advocate this week really ran down the Zanesville schedule and ran up the Newark schedule. But when you're 2-7 and when you're 6-3, it's a different story.
Well, I think the thing that Zanesville has to do is put them on the run. They be in Newark. You know, when somebody says something about your schedule, I think that's just kind of like ammunition for the fire, and that's like the enemy saying, well, I'm going to tell you where I'm going to attack from. And if I were Zanesville, I'd probably put that on the chalkboard and say, hey, you guys, you know, they don't think we're that good. They're better than us. Why don't we just go out and show them?
Indeed, it is on the chalkboard in the Zanesville locker room, and there'll be some different situations here tonight. Zanesville, for instance, will warm up in the pit where they run the hill.
Well, they hope to make it the pits for the Newark Wildcats, I suppose. I guess it's a psych job, and at this point of the season, you really need something to say, hey, one more time, guys, let's get out there and let's knock them over.
And you know the blood's boiling on both sides as Zanesville prepares to meet Newark. We're at John D. Salzburger Memorial Stadium. The opening lineups in just a moment.
Tossing 3 great tastes, fresh all day. McDonald's chicken salad Oriental. McDonald's chef salad. McDonald's garden salad.
It's a good time for the great taste. 3 great tastes of McDonald's.
Look in your local newspaper the week of October 26th for valuable coupons offering $1 off on McDonald's new chicken salad Oriental and a 99-cent McDLT sandwich. See coupon for details.
Hello, stranger. And stranger yet. What do you have?
Something different. The color wars are over.
There ain't nothing different.
I have something different.
Better ice cold.
Zanesville attired in the home blue, white helmets, white pants, and the blue striping. And Newark coming over to the far sideline. They're in the visiting white, red numerals, red helmets, and red pants. Zanesville trying to put the cappers and goes 7-3 for 1986, and that's a pretty doggone good record.
Many people thought this was going to be a rebuilding year for the Blue Devils. When you say rebuilding, you're looking at 2-8, 3-7, possibly 4-6. If they can finish 7-3, that's a great job.
16 seniors, too. The future looks very good. Game conditions, not what you would expect on October 31st.
No, absolutely not. The forecast is calling for temperatures in the 50s, supposed to fall only into the lower 50s, so we can expect a perfect night.
Zanesville will kick off. Newark will get its opportunity first tonight offensively, moving the football left to right, as we're at John D. Sulzberger Memorial Stadium here at Zanesville High School. Last week, both teams were defeated. Zanesville's loss was, as Whit Parks termed it, devastating. They were driving, fumbled the football at the one late on, and lost 14-7 to Canton-Timken.
That's a real key in this ball game. Zanesville, the last 4 games, has been plagued by interceptions and turnovers. They have to play better football tonight and hang on to the ball if they're to be successful.
Last week, Newark's loss was to Lancaster, 28-12, but in that game, they were in it all the way up until the final minutes of the contest. Chris Burrier is deep to receive for Newark. Check our officials for tonight. A crew out of Tuscarawas County: Jack Van Reef, Mel McAfee, Al Amicone, Pat Antonelli, and Dave Liberator. Chris Burrier in the middle. He is flanked to his left by another receiver and to his right. Kickoff coming up from Buster Howe, and this football game is underway. Burrier on the run has the football at the 6-yard line. He'll come middle of the field and be crunched as he reaches the 24-yard line. Larry Mail and a host of other Blue Devils on the tackle. The Newark offensive line consisting of Dave Douglas, Mike Gannan, Craig Pearson, Dan German, and Joe Potts. Willis is the tight end with Abbott, one of the alternating split ends. In the backfield, you have Jim Taylor running at a flanker. Mike Neff is the quarterback, Clark Myers, and Mike Glenn. Glenn, the leading ball carrier for the Newark Wildcats. From the 24, 1st and 10, Newark. They'll move it left to right behind a pretty good-sized offensive line against this Blue Devil defense, which can really hit you hard. Glenn hits left tackle and is barreled down as he reaches the 29-yard line. He'll gain about 6 on a first down run.
Brian McLaughlin that time played the position very well from his cornerback spot, made the tackle.
Shin, Gorley, Slater, Kuzma, and Serap, your defensive line for Zanesville. Freeman and Evans at the linebacking positions, and there you have the secondary of Mail, McLaughlin, Kudart, and Howe. 2nd down and 5, Newark at their own 29-yard line. They have running room to the near side of the football field. The strength, well, actually it's double tight ends with a power eye in the backfield. They'll try Glenn's number again, and he has enough yardage for what appears to be a first down. Bob Gorley was the guy hanging on to Mike Glenn.
Jim, I don't know if Newark's offensive line at this point of the season is strong, but just on the 2 running plays that they've had, they appear to be very quick. They've seen on the 2 plays to just fire out very well.
Mike Glenn on the year, 171 carries, 686 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And Newark has called his number the first 2 times tonight they have touched the football offensively. From the 33, it is 1st down and 10. They'll try the fullback, Clark Myers, and he is stormed under as he reaches the 33-yard line, maybe the 34. Give him 2, 2nd down and 8.
Well, the game plan, obviously, for the Wildcats coming in is just to put the ball on the ground, try to eat up a lot of the time, and hopefully score.
Newark's offense this year has had their problems, but they've perked up a little bit of late. 2nd down, 8. Newark at their own 34 with the opening drive of the football game. Power eye in the backfield, and Mike Glenn spinning off a potential tackler and reaching nearly the 43-yard line. It'll set up 3rd down and short yardage.
They've had 5 plays. They've gone left, right, left, right, left.
Bob Gorley was the man responsible for making the tackle on Mike Glenn. Gorley, a junior at 5'11 and 160. He's been a pleasant surprise on this Zanesville defense, which has played very respectable football this year. Very staunch defensive team despite their lack of size.
Well, they've had 2 shutouts, and that's a big plus, and they've only given up more than 2 touchdowns on 1 occasion.
Zanesville whistling timeout, and Earl Fry will make some adjustments here as Whit Parks talks with his crew. Scoreless in the first quarter. We'll be back.
Cut your credit card costs with the Mutual Federal Visa card. We're cutting the interest rate on our Visa cards to 14.88% interest. You could be paying as high as 22% presently. There is no fee the first year. Pick up the Visa application at Mutual Federal and start cutting your credit card costs.
Mutual friend, Mutual Federal, savings and more.
Hi, folks. I'm Jack Jeffers, your Ford dealer in New Lexington. For the past 12 years, we've told you about the great deals on new Fords here in New Lexington, and you've responded. We're building a new facility. Our present facility has nearly doubled from our grand opening back in 1974. I'd like to personally thank each and every one of you for making it all happen. See me at Jeffers Ford here in New Lexington, and let's make a deal.
A short way to go, or a big way to save. Come into us, we're saving some big deals for you.
Marker is down as Mike Glenn tries to dive and get the first down over the 45-yard line. Brian McLaughlin had a hard hit there late in the play. I'll tell you, McLaughlin is really fired up here in the early going.
He's another one of those guys, Jim, that stepped in this year, hadn't gotten a lot of playing time in the past, and has really improved.
The carry is short of the first down marker, and the officials chat with Zanesville and George Freeman. Whit Parks, a young man who has done a masterful job with this Zanesville football program. Major penalty, actually a 5-yard step off back to the 39.
As Newark tried to attack the left side, they were detected for what I believe is holding.
They're trying to run behind German, who goes 240, and Gannan, who goes 185. Back to the 39, where it is 3rd and 7. Ends are tight. A wing is to the right. And now Newark a bit confused, and Mike Neff has to call timeout. So each team has used a timeout in the first quarter, and we have yet to play 3 minutes of this football game. Prior to the contest, a chance we had to chat with Zanesville coach Whit Parks, and we asked him if the season has been everything he's wanted.
Well, it's been a good season, and a lot of that will depend on how we do tonight, Jim. But it's been good, and you know, our kids have worked hard. They've had a couple games where they had some tough breaks, but our kids play hard and with enthusiasm, and that's all we ask of them.
It'll be 3rd and 7. Some confusion there on the part of Newark. Now they're ready to go as they have the football at their own 39-yard line. Important here for Zanesville's defense to stop them and get the football back, or get the football for the first time, if you will.
Yeah, because they've stayed all on the ground, and they ate up clock, and that's not what you want. You want the ball.
Wing to the right. The backs are in the eye. It'll be 3rd and about 7. Ball at the 39. Zanesville linebackers are up close looking for the run. Glenn dots the eye. Myers in front of him, and they go with a play-action fake, and back to pass and looking, and now trying to run with the football. I believe the pass was thrown and completed to the 47-yard line. I was kind of stunned there. On our TV side, we kind of got fooled, too, and I was watching our monitor. But the pass goes from Neff to the tight end, I believe, Kevin Willis.
Right. Brian McLaughlin had the coverage. There was a down and out, hit the sideline. McLaughlin pushed him out of bounds just at the yard marker.
Clark Myers makes the reception and has enough for a Newark first down. So good play-action fake by Neff to the tailback, and the pass complete to fullback Clark Myers out of the backfield for a Newark first down. So the Cats are moving. 2 first downs, and they have the ball at the 47-yard line. Again, here comes a long pass coming up. It's broken up inside the Zanesville 30. They were trying to get it to the wide receiver, Brian Abbott, and the pass broken up by the Zanesville secondary. Larry Mayle was around the play.
So was Buster Howell. Buster, I think, got a hand on it.
2nd down and 10, the football at the Newark 47-yard line. They like to go to Mike Kamel when they pass the football. He comes off the bench. He has caught 12 so far for 133 yards. Out of the power eye, Mike Glenn spinning, getting to the 50 and drop there. Well, Mike Glenn has been the workhorse in this opening drive for Newark. That is his 4th carry of the first quarter, which has 8:50 to play in it with no score.
Good job by the Blue Devils that time of just stacking up the line of scrimmage and not allowing him to get through that hole completely. Because when Zanesville sent in all those people, as they've not given up many points the last few games, when they're sending all those people, they're very susceptible to people breaking it.
Wide receiver comes to the right, and a wide receiver to the left. And Neff wants to throw. He's got protection, flares it, completes it at the Zanesville 40 for what appears to be a first down. Larry Mail on the tackle of Kevin Willis, the tight end. Willis coming into this game with 9 catches for 172 yards and a touchdown, and he has a 12-yard reception there for a first down. Newark has moved to the Zanesville 37, and the Wildcats threatening early on.
Just play action by Newark that time. Zanesville went for the fake. First down.
From the 37, power eye in the backfield, Mike Glenn hitting the middle of the Zanesville line and getting good yardage down inside the 30 to the 29. A first down run for Mike Glenn, knots about 9 yards. John Porter hanging on, and Newark is beginning to control the line of scrimmage.
They really are. They're running up the middle. They've had the play action passes for the short game, which has picked them up 2 first downs, but in between, they've kept it on the ground.
Zanesville needs to have a big defensive play here and soon, because Newark is beginning to establish something here with 7:36 to play in the first quarter. From the 29, Glenn, and not this time. Matt Shin was there. So is George Freeman, who's very happy about his effort. And he smacks Matt Shin on the helmet, saying, good play, 56. The nose guard of Zanesville makes the tackle for a loss back to the 30-yard line. It's 3rd and short.
This is a big play for the Blue Devils defensively. They've got to shut down Newark right here, who will not have the opportunity to score because they're not in field goal range.
This drive started at the Newark 24. It has reached the Zanesville 30, where it is 3rd and 3. Double tight ends with a wing right. Now some confusion as Newark now splits a man to the right side. Neff will throw, and flaring it out. It is caught and out of bounds inside the Zanesville 25. First down, Newark. Clark Myers on the receiving end, chased out of bounds by Buster Howell. So Newark going to the guys out of the backfield. Myers especially has made 2 catches in this drive. Newark gets 8, and it's a first down.
One of the adjustments the Wildcats have made early is that they feel they can throw the short passing game, and so far it's been successful.
Power eye in the backfield, 3 running backs. Vance Bennett is back there joining Clark Myers. Myers with the handoff, breaks through. He's looking for the end zone and dragged down inside the 5-yard line by Buster Howell. Newark is beginning to get confident and more confident with each closing minute here. Newark with first down, goal to go. They'll spot it at the 5-yard line. Clark Myers to quick inside trap.
You're right, Jim. Just a few minutes ago, I said 6 points when I meant a first down, but you can see at that point, the way Newark has been driving the ball, it's just a matter of time. It looks so impressive. Buster Howell finally drug him down.
Douglas, Pearson, and Gannan responsible for clearing out the Zanesville interior. Blue Devils go goal line at the 5, first down and goal, Newark. Split backs, Myers has the carry, and he is hit and dropped at the 5-yard line. Brian McLaughlin was there, and McLaughlin rode him down like a horse at the 5-yard line. No gain, second down and goal.
Now he really collared him that time, and you're right. Good tackle by Brian.
Halfway through the first quarter, 6 minutes remaining. Newark with an impressive drive, which started at their own 24. Devils looking for some goal line D here on 2nd and goal. Glenn in the backfield along with Bennett and Myers. Neff is the quarterback, double tight ends. Mike Neff to Mike Glenn. Glenn hits the 3 and dives ahead and is marked down at about the 4-yard line.
A whole host of Blue Devils that time. Matt Shin gets up last off the pile.
Gene Evans also had a hit in there. The gain is about a yard. It's 3rd down and goal. Zanesville would like to halt the drive right now. Let's see if they might send a couple of backers here.
Well, so far Newark has ran twice short yardage. Let's see if they throw it.
Wing right, backs in the eye. Myers and Glenn dotting the eye. Neff, play action fake, and Neff's in trouble. Can they get him? They do. Fumble. It's still loose. Zanesville football. The Devils come up with a turnover at the 10. They stall the Wildcat drive.
That time Neff tried to pitch out. As he was pitched out, he was hit by Larry Mail.
Bob Gorley has recovered the fumble. Boy, did Mail play this well. No, that was Mike Seraph who played it very well. Seraph really forced the quarterback on the option to give up the football. Zanesville has it for the first time tonight at their 10. Quarterback is Steve Antonetz. He goes to George Freeman, and boy, does Freeman get hit right at the line of scrimmage. He got nailed by the nose guard. And the tackle is made, should say, by the middle linebacker, Troy Salazar. No gain, 2nd down and 10.
Zanesville started in poor field position. What I'm sure they're playing for is just to move the ball up the field very carefully, not take any real chances at this point of the ball game. Get a few first downs, try to work themselves out of it.
From the 10, the power eye in the backfield. Howell's first carry of the night, and Buster dives ahead to near the 15-yard line. Boy, it's got to be painful for Buster Howell to run the football tonight with that full groin muscle.
Well, he's hurt, and there's no question. Zanesville offensively starts with Don Watts at center. Left guard is Rick Slater, right guard Glenn Kuzmal. The tackles are Dave Mallett, Matt Shin, tight end Monty Scott, and flanker Larry Mayo.
Tysinger, Antonetts, Freeman, and Howell, the other starters for Zanesville. On 3rd and 5, number 3, Buster Howell with the carry, won't get there, and he is gang tackled at the 16-yard line. 1-yard pickup by Buster, and the Newark defense has held Zanesville on 3 running plays.
Well,
Vance Bennett, one of the initial guys to make the hits.
Pardon me, they really have. Newark defensive line did a good job. The tackles, Rogers and Turner. Hottinger, Burrier are the ends. They play the 4-3. Salazar, Long, and Bennett are the linebackers. Zanesville being very conservative, just playing field position. They've get themselves out of a hole with the fumble recovery. They can punt it and start again.
From the 16, Buster Howell will hit it. Good snap from center. Here's the kick. Howell gets a wobbly kick, end over ender. It'll be gathered in by Willis at midfield, and he is hit as he reaches the Zanesville 48-yard line. 33-yard kick, 3 yards on the return. Newark gets it back in Zanesville territory at the 48.
Good job by the Blue Devils that time. Newark's going to take over at midfield, but again, they have breathing room now. I think they were kind of shell-shocked. Newark took about 7 minutes, marched down the field, marched down to the 2-yard line, and without that fumble, it would have been 6-0.
Willis tries to get running room to the left, but Zanesville was there with Jeff Tysinger. Tysinger goes about 145 pounds, but I'll tell you, he's a hitter. Nearly a fumble there. Zanesville forced the ball loose, but apparently after the whistle, according to the officiating crew. First down run from Newark, Mike Glenn. Off right tackle, hits the 45, dives ahead perhaps to the 44. He'll gain about 3. Sarup was there for Zanesville, along with Bob Gorley.
And Gene Evans was also in on the play from his linebacking position.
Play carries to the 44. It'll be 2nd down and 6. We wind down to the final 2 minutes of the first quarter. No score. Newark has had the better of it, though, moving the football down to the 10 before fumbling it away to Zanesville. 2nd down run. Myers hits the middle, and this time Matt Shin in the interior of Zanesville hold things up and push him back just a little bit. Glenn Kuzmal comes in at defensive end, replacing John Porter. Kuzmal is playing with a heavily taped right knee. His knee's bothering him, but he's out there giving it a go. At the 43, it is 3rd and 6. From the 43-yard line, Newark shows a tight formation, but they have opted to go short with the passing attack to the running backs. Let's see if they try it again. Neff off play action is open. Now looks, pocket breaks down, fumble! It's still loose at the 44. Initially, it looked like Zanesville had it, but Newark has recovered. Craig Pearson gets the football after Zanesville nearly had it on the Neff fumble. And Mike Neff having trouble holding on to the football.
Mike also had a man open downfield, chose not to throw, and fumbled the ball.
Boy, Kuzmal had a great shot at it, but it just slithered away from Glenn. The fumble was caused by the hit by George Freeman, the linebacker. On 4th down and 7 after a loss of 1, Newark wanting to punt, and a marker is down. And it's going to be stepped off against Zanesville, encroachment.
That last play, by the way, Myers was open for Newark, and again, Neff chose not to throw to him and very nearly cost them the ball.
Mike Neff does a little bit of everything for Newark. He'll punt now on 4th and 2 from the 39. Well, Barry Fox not opting to go for the first. Yeah, they'll go to a short set and try to get the gain, and there's a loose football as they're near the first down marker. Zanesville says they have the football. So Newark going for the first down and out of punt formation, snapping it to enough back. Zanesville saying they stopped them. It's close to a first down, though, and the official not signaling a fumble recovery. Ball at the 38-yard line. If it stands, it might be close enough for a measurement.
I think that's what they're going to do, Jim. It's going to be an either way. It's either going to be a fumble or a Newark first down.
Well, Newark's defense is coming out. The officials have not signaled what it is. Apparently they're going to measure. So Newark recovered what appeared to be a fumble. Newark has had the better of it on the first down route thus far. They controlled this first quarter. We have 50 seconds to play in the period, no score.
Blue Devils have just had 3 running plays. Of course, they were deep in their own territory. They're short.
Not enough for a first down. They missed it by a nose of the football, so Zanesville will get it back. Blue Devils stop them at the 37, and Zanesville has it back in a little bit of better field position this time than last time.
I think you'll see Whit Parks open it up a little bit now. I don't blame him. I don't think anybody's going to take that kind of chance. First time you touch the ball deep in your own territory. He'll open it up a little bit now.
Buster Howell in the Zanesville backfield, and he has gained 850 yards rushing this year, 11 touchdowns. He dots the eye of the power eye. Inside carry, Freeman and George with a very good first down carry, nearly to the 45-yard line. Boy, if you can get 7 or 8 yards out of your fullback on first down, you're doing something.
Yeah, you really can. He was finally stopped by Burrier.
Devils offense has sputtered just a little bit the last 4 games, but that has been due to the turnovers. Second down, 3. Football at the 45-yard line. Zanesville moving right to left with 12 seconds to play in the quarter. Gene Evans, loose football. And this will be ruled a fumble, and the recovery back at the Zanesville 43. Boy, the players are having a hard time hanging on to it. Steve Antonetz recovers the fumble by Gene Evans. And we have reached the end of the first period. Newark has moved the football up and down, but Zanesville defense has been tough to the task. Scoreless after 1.
Are you one of the 38,000 adults in this viewing area who does not have a high school diploma? The Mid-East Ohio Vocational School District is sponsoring adult basic education classes, which are free of charge for any adult wishing to prepare for the GED or high school equivalency test. Classes are available in Muskingum, Perry, Guernsey, Coshocton, and Morgan counties. For more information, call the Adult Basic Education Office at 454-7242.
How long has it been since you shared a meal with us? Tom Brubaker here for Village Inn, inviting you in for a family treat. Take a close look at our super fresh salad bar and also enjoy our complete pizza and pasta buffet, served with hot, crisp garlic bread. And of course, when you order a custom-made pizza, you can almost see it made before your eyes, from scratch to the final cutting. You can also enjoy our old-time movies shown daily after 5 p.m. Village Inn Pizza is located on Maple Avenue in the shadows of Bethesda Hospital in Zanesville.
We start the second quarter with Zanesville having a 3rd and 3 at their own 45-yard line. Howell dots the eye. Option right. Antonetz to Buster Howell. Markers go down. Buster has the first down into Newark territory. We'll check the flag. Running Howell out of bounds on the near sideline. Steve Sherman and the linebacker, Ty Long. Interesting story about Steve Sherman. He's the grandson of the legendary coach at Muskingum College, Ed Sherman. And Ed's here tonight watching the football game with current Muskingum College football coach Jeff Haycock.
They have a big game on Saturday with Mount Union, I believe.
Marker being checked at the midfield stripe. And Zanesville moving back. Newark having the better of it as far as the statistics are concerned. 48-14 yards rushing, 27-0 yards passing, 5-0 first downs, but we're scoreless, and that's all that matters.
And what really matters is that one turnover that Newark committed on about the 8-yard line. That was the costly one. Otherwise, the score really should have been 6 or 7-0.
Mark off against Zanesville to the 41, and they'll replay the down at 3rd and 8. Evans is out. Scott is the tight end left. Zanesville likes to go to Scott on what they call a waggle. That's where the tight end just kind of checks off and goes over the middle of the field. Might look for that here. Antonetz on 3rd and 8. Fires. He's got Scott. There's the waggle. First down, Zanesville. Well, I was a coach for a day, and I read Whit Park's mind.
Good call, Coach.
Monty Scott is a good wide receiver. Actually, he's a wide receiver, a converted tight end this year. 15 catches, 270 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's a clutch guy. Antonetz rolled out to his right. Got great footwork and found Scott on the waggle.
15 and a Zanesville first at the Newark 45-yard line. Tysinger tight right. Scott is the tight end left with the power I in the backfield. It's one of Wood Park's favorite formations. Buster Howe, only a junior, gets 3 as he dives to the 43. I think, you hear about Buster Howe so often, Howard, and you just don't realize the young man is only a junior. He has 1 more year to go.
He really has. That time the tackle was made by Ty Long. The nice thing for Buster is this year is he played very well last year, but in the shadow of Chris Gators, and this year he's just blossomed.
In fact, Howell a year ago in Zanesville's 21-0 win at Newark gained 32 yards on 9 carries. This year he has been a showcase back. On 2nd and 8, Steve Antonette's on the option, sticking it down and carrying it to the 35-yard line, near a first down.
Steve Sherman with the tackle that time, helped out by Jay Hottinger. And Antonette's very nearly broke that on the option.
Antonette's can throw 1,017 yards passing this year as they'll call for a measurement. And Steve has also had 12 touchdown passes. In fact, he has had 4 touchdown passes in 2 separate games against John Adams, and the other event he had 4 touchdown passes against Northland.
Well, he's certainly capable of throwing the ball. I'll tell you another guy capable of throwing the ball is Buster Howe. We may see that tonight.
Howe is on the year is 4 out of 5 for 95 yards, and 3 of the 4 have gone for touchdowns. Zanesville first down. So the Devils mounting their most impressive offensive drive as they've reached the Newark 35 in a scoreless game in the first quarter. First half, I should say. 10:59 to play in the period. Tysinger is out. McLaughlin is in. Zanesville this year blessed with some outstanding wide receivers. They're not all that quick, but they have glue for hands.
And they run very good routes, possession-type receivers.
Running formation on 1st and 10, the power I. Here's the reverse. Gene Evans, good yardage inside the 30 down to the 28. Some coaches call that the scissors play or the misdirection. You get the defense going one way and you scissor it and go the opposite way. This young man at 6'2" and 180, only a sophomore, Gene Evans.
Well, he was finally stopped by Mike Kamel, or Mr. Evans would have had 6 points. Kamel from his right halfback position finally put the stop on him. Yeah, they send one guy through, you freeze the linebackers, and you get Evans going the other way.
Gene Evans gets 8, 2nd down and 2 from the 28 of Newark. Devils on the move, and they'll go to George Freeman trying to dive ahead and get the first down. He'll be stacked up for what appears to be about a half-a-yard shot. You know, I always have a lot of feeling for the fullback because he's the guy that gets your tough yards. He's the guy in that power I that's called upon to block so often. And Freeman this year has gained 236 yards, rushed for 2 touchdowns, and has played both ways at fullback and linebacker.
Well, it always seems like he's the guy that runs on the obvious situations, too, wherever there's about 10 guys waiting for him to run the ball on the short yardage.
Again, short yardage, power I, Evans, Freeman, and Howe in the backfield on 3rd and less than 1. Here goes with the scissors play. Evans trying to get outside. Can Gene get to the sticks? He does, it would appear, but a marker is down at the 25-yard line of Newark. And that is dropped where you normally see a penalty against the offense for an illegal block, and that's what Newark says it is. Chris Spurrier made the tackle.
Blue Devils went right back to the same play that they just ran with Evans.
9:30 to play in the first half as Evans tried to get outside, and Rick Slater was trying to provide a block, and I think Slater is going to be the guy that's guilty of the illegal block. Back to the 37-yard line, and it's even more than that as the 15-yard step-off is from the spot of the infraction. To the 41, where it'll be 3rd down and 14.
Jim, I think one of the keys so far in this game for the Blue Devils is how much Buster Howe has touched the football. We've seen Freeman and Evans quite a bit. We've also seen Antonette's keep the ball. Buster may be hurting more than we really think.
Zanesville started this drive at the 37 on 3rd and 16. They'll go with a pass. Antonette's looking for screen, gets it off to Howe. Buster at the 45, down to the 35, 30, sidelines, 20. First down, Zanesville. Buster inside the Newark 10.
So much for being hurt. Good run.
Chris Wilson saved the touchdown because Buster Howe used his blockers well at the 30.
Well, it was a screenplay. They haven't shown that tonight. There was a great time for it. That was an absolutely outstanding call.
28 yards on the screen pass. Antonette's to Howe, and it was perfectly set up.
Yeah, Buster's just kind of laying back. He hasn't been used too much tonight. He gets the ball. You get him in the open field, he's dangerous.
From the 13, Zanesville with a first down, and they'll call Howell's number again, and Buster dives inside the 10. He'll be spotted down at the 9. Steve Sherman was there. Sherman, a senior at 6'1" and 170, playing defensive halfback on the left side, stops Howell after a 4-yard gain, 2nd down and 6. So if Zanesville can get into the end zone here, the Blue Devils would capture some momentum here with 8:17 to play in the first half. Evans is out, Mayle is in, and Larry will split far to the left, with Tysinger coming to the right. Steve Antonette's under center and gives it to Howe. Buster, left side, looking for the end zone. Down near, touchdown. The young man is playing hurt, but playing hard. Zanesville leads 6-0.
Good job that time by the Blue Devils. They just marched right down the field, and I believe 46 of those yards, including the last 3 plays, were provided by Buster Howe. 1 on a screen pass, 2 running plays, 6-0 Blue Devils.
Buster Howe with his 13th touchdown of the year, his 12th rushing. And Brian Law, the soccer-style southpaw, will try to make it 7-0. The kick is away, sailing up and through the uprights. 7:59 to play second quarter. Blue Devils on top, 7-0.
For good potato chips, you have to start with good potatoes. That's the first step Cons takes to bring you the tastiest chips ever. For over 50 years, Cons has set the standard for delicious potato chips. Cons has a real concern for quality, freshness, and value. That's why ounce for ounce, pound for pound, you get more chips for your money with Cons. From supermarkets to snack bars and everything in between, Cons is the potato chip more people choose. Because good potato chips taste like Cons.
I'm Mr. Money'sworth, and I sell the finest quality produce available. It doesn't get any better than at Mr. Money'sworth. Top quality, field fresh produce at the lowest possible price. It's my policy. Top quality at a low price. That's called value. Mr. Money'sworth. It's more than my name. It's my promise.
Howe with the kick and the return. Good hit on the guy who returned the football. Chris Burrier, as he gets over the 25 to the 26. Newark with pretty good field position after Zanesville's 62-yard, 10-play drive. Buster Howe, with the touchdown run, gets Zanesville on top.
George Freeman that time really leveled Burrier.
Newark's 3rd time on the offense. First 2 times. First drive started at the 24, ended with a fumble at the Zanesville 10. Second time ended on downs inside the Zanesville 40. First down run, not getting much. In fact, maybe a yard. Mike Glenn is dealt down at the 29-yard line by Zanesville. Mike Serap, the junior, at 5'9" and 165, in the transfer from Rosecrans, responsible for the tackle. 2nd down and 9. Newark at the 29-yard line. Zanesville with a 7-0 lead. Coach Toller on the sideline chatting with defensive end John Porter. On 2nd and long, Mike Neff will throw. Hard pass rush by Zanesville and Glenn Kuzma. Kuzma after him, and Neff fires it. Got Willis, his tight end, and Kevin Willis is up ahead for a first down over the Newark 40. Neff that time doing a nice job holding on to the football. Well, preparation week for Newark, it's something special because you play Newark once a year. That question to Blue Devil coach Whit Parks.
An exciting week. It always is. You know, we depend a lot on emotion this week. We depend a lot on enthusiasm and mental preparation. You know, the concentration is always much better this week. Everybody pays a little more attention because obviously our kids want to beat Newark.
Wildcats with their 6th first down of the game. And on a first down run, Mike Glenn hit again, driven back at the line of scrimmage. Evans was there. Serap hit him. So did Freeman. Initially, I think Bob Gorley had the first hit, spun Mike Glenn around, and then waited for some help from some teammates. Gain on the play, 1, second down and 9.
Zanesville Blue Devils the second quarter have done a much better job against the run. Newark's really finding the going tough.
Kuzma is out. Porter is in on 2nd and 9. John Porter playing defensive end on the left side. Kudart shifts far sideline against the strength of the formation. Mike Glenn again, spinning ahead and keeping those feet a-churning and getting over the 45 to the 46-yard line. Good backs always keep the feet moving because you never know when you're going to break a tackle.
Gorley on the tackle that time for the Blue Devils. He's played very well this half.
3rd down and 6. Some of the Blue Devils on the sideline for Zanesville, trying to get their defense pumped up here to stop the Wildcats, who are at their own 46-yard line. 3rd and 6. See if Mike Neff puts it up. He's got a formation that shows that way. Try to go to a quick pop for the tight end, and it wasn't there. Kudart had the coverage along with Evans, who had dropped back in coverage. Pass was thrown a little bit too hot.
Yeah, it was. I think Neff just got rid of the ball about a second before he really wanted to, and the pass was available.
Mike Neff thus far tonight, 4 out of 6 for 40 yards. And he'll punt as he stands back inside his 35 on 4th and 6. Zanesville with Howe in single safety. Snap is there. Kick by Mike Neff. Comes to the near sideline and will bounce and go out of bounds at the 23-yard line. 28-yard punt by Mike Neff. Zanesville's offense the last couple of weeks, they've had some problems. And our question to Coach Parks, what's the formula for reviving that sputtering offense?
I'm not sure there's a formula. It's been sputtering because of turnovers. You know, I just hope we secure the ball a little bit better, both throwing it and carrying it. And I think if we do that, that'll take care of the offensive problems.
7-0 Zanesville on the 10-yard run by Buster Howe. Zanesville has it back at the 23 with a first down. And wide receivers either side. Mail to the left, Tysinger to the right. Howe trying to get outside. Buster does. 30. Slips off a tackle. 35-yard line. 40. Midfield. Buster Howe dragged down inside the Newark 40-yard line. That young man is quite a running back.
He's outstanding. That time he very nearly broke it. No less than 5 Newark guys had a shot at dropping him. He was finally dragged down by Kamel. The only thing that stopped Buster that time was the sideline. It wasn't the Wildcats.
And they're going to mark Buster Howe down at the 46-yard line of Zanesville for a 21-yard gain.
3, 4, 5, 6.
I'll tell you what, too, at the 50-yard line, he nearly ran over a Newark secondary man, just bowled him down with a forearm.
Yeah, the sideline really did stop him. Otherwise, it's a touchdown for the Blue Devils.
Howe with 21 on that gallop, and the ball's at the 46-yard line, make it the 47 of Zanesville for a first down. Under 5 minutes to play in the first half. Inside carry, George Freeman. There's another big hole for Zanesville, and looks to be close to another first down at the Newark 43. So George Freeman moving behind some quick trap blocks on the inside. Chris Burrier on the tackle for Newark, but not before. Zanesville has almost 10. Gain of 9. It's second down and short. Shin, Kuzma, Watts, Slater, and Mallett, the offensive line. They're starting to move and establish themselves on the line of scrimmage. From the 43, it's second and short. Freeman gets his number called again, and he'll barrel ahead behind the stack for the first down.
They are moving the chain, so yes, indeed, he did get a first down. Another one for the Blue Devils, who have been very impressive since stopping Newark after causing the fumble early in the first quarter.
At the 42, Zanesville with a first down and 4:15 to play in the half. 7-0 Zanesville following that 62-yard, 10-play drive. Here in the second quarter, the score occurring at the 7:59 mark. From the 42, a first down. Mail is to the right. McLaughlin to the left. Howe darting ahead, gets yardage inside the 40, and that's all. Newark slowing him down just a little bit that time as the defensive end pinched in and reported the tackle. Doug Turner and Jay Hottinger on the stop.
I think what you're going to see Zanesville do here in this situation, 3:40 to go in the half, They're going to try and keep the ball on the ground a lot, run the clock, try not to give the ball back to Newark with very much time. Hopefully be up 14-0 at halftime.
Second down and 7. Wing to the right. Howe, here's the option pass. Buster can't throw it. Now evades one. Now fires. Evans can't get to it. Good defensive play by Newark to knock it down at the 12-yard line.
Steve Sherman very nearly got beat on that play. He reacted at the last second. That's a pretty good heads-up play because Evans was there. Buster waited about 1 second too late to throw the ball.
Howe made a nice play, too, to get away from the initial charge of the defensive lineman. Coming to the near sideline, Howe evades the oncoming lineman and then fires the football, a strike, but a good defensive play by Sherman as he leaped and knocked it away with his right hand.
Had Buster not having to take a couple of more steps, there would have been the touchdown pass.
Timeout on the field, 3:17 to play in the second quarter. It is 7-0 Zanesville, and the Blue Devils will have it with a 3rd and 7 at the 39-yard line of the Wildcats. Last year, Zanesville found a lot of success going against the Newark secondary. And we asked Whit Parks whether or not they would attack that secondary as they did a year ago.
Well, our pass offense is just the same, and if they give us the same things they did last year, obviously we would do that. But, you know, we like to get the ball to our running backs and run the ball and try to get the big play off the pass. So we're not going to change our game plan from any other week. We'll just try to do the things that we do best.
In that game a year ago, Zanesville completing a 9-1 season and just missing the playoffs. Andy Graham threw only 5 passes but completed 4 of them for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns. 2 of those touchdown passes to a young man who's playing at the Naval Academy now, Larry Dickinson, who, by the way, called tonight and wished the Zanesville Blue Devils and Coach Whit Parks good luck.
He's a nice young man and a good football player.
From the 39, 3rd and 7. Antonette's inside carry, Freeman and George diving ahead near first down yardage. So Zanesville goes with a little deception of their own, showing a passing formation and going with a fullback run behind his right side defensive line, or offensive line, if you will. And the yardage carries to just shy of a first down, 4th and short.
Vance Bennett on the tackle that time for the Wildcats, and I believe they're going to measure again, yes.
You're in 4-down territory right here, so Zanesville figuring if they don't get the first down, they'll have another down to use with 3:10 to play in the first half and leading 7-0. Chain Gang says it's enough. First down, Zanesville. Well, Newark coming into this game 2-7, but you had the feeling all week long it was going to be a different team than 2-7, and it has been. Zanesville has had used some outstanding control football here in the second quarter. Devils catching up here in first downs now, trailing at one time 5-0, now leading 7-6 in the first down category. On 1st and 10 from the 33. Evans around the right end. Markers go down as Gene goes down at the 25. Steve Sherman and Jason Hardy teaming up on the tackle. Marker dropped in the Zanesville offensive backfield.
I think it's going to be holding on the Blue Devils, Jim. It was thrown by the back judge, and he had a pretty good angle.
We'll wait for the indication from the official. That was a 1st and 10 play from the 33, 5-yard step off. And, well, we never did get an indication what it was. Tom Harlan tells us a motion penalty. Didn't get an indication. So we'll go with a motion penalty. It's 1st and 15 from the 38-yard line. 2:36, and the clock is turning. Wide slot left. Running room to the far sideline. Steve Antonette's fullback, quick pop, and George Freeman gets yardage to the 32. Got away from the initial tackler at the 35, but couldn't get away from Chris Spurrier at the 33. It'll be 2nd down and about 11.
Well, I think it's probably about time to see Buster Howe again. This is a critical play of sorts for the Blue Devils. They need to keep this drive going, and this is where Buster's at his best.
Zanesville using some clock. Under 2 minutes to play in the second quarter and leading 7-0. Again, same formation, wide slot left with the backs in the eye. Antonetts wants to go to Howe. Lets it fly left side. Wide open receiver. Larry Mail with the catch at the 15, diving ahead and gets yardage down to the 10-yard line. Larry Mail making the catch, and Steve Sherman recording the tackle. First down, Zanesville.
Great job by Antonetts, because you're right, Jim. He had Howe open in the flat area for what could have been a first down or possibly more. Saw Larry Mail upfield, chose the better option. Good job by Antonetts.
I'll tell you, Steve Antonetts, a very solid workmanlike job this year at quarterback for Zanesville. Clearing it out and completing it.
Right, he had plenty of time, and he found Mail. Good job of reading the defense.
Found the seam of the zone. Howell in a first down carry from the 10. Can Buster get outside? Slips one, slips two, diving for the pylon. Touchdown!
The Blue Devil fans go crazy. Why not? What a good run by Buster Howe.
I'll tell you, the young man can really make things exciting when he can get outside contained. He did at the 10 and outran the Newark secondary into the end zone.
One of the things that really impresses me is he uses his stiff arm. He kind of reminds you of Jim Brown. Remember Jim Brown used to use that stiff arm and just push people away from him? He does that very well.
McLaughlin will hold. Brian Law tries to make it 14-0. Airborne and through. Timeout. 1:21 to play second quarter. ZHS 14, Newark nada.
Three great tastes, fresh all day. McDonald's chicken salad Oriental. McDonald's chef salad. McDonald's garden salad. It's a good time. What a great taste. Three great tastes. McDonald's.
Look in your local newspaper the week of October 26th for valuable coupons offering $1 off on McDonald's new chicken salad Oriental and a 99-cent McDLT sandwich. See coupon for details.
Give
me the unusual. I said the unusual. Said the unusual.
Burriers return to the 25-yard line for Newark. Wildcats will have it with not a heck of a lot of time. 1:14 to play in the first half, and trailing now 14-0. Brian Abbott is wide left. There's a wide slot to the right. Passing formation for the Wildcats on 1st and 10, and they'll go with the run. And not much for the fullback, Clark Myers. Gets to the 27, and that's all. Zanesville shuts down the run, and the clock rolls with 47 seconds.
And they're going to go in and regroup down 14-0 unless they try something long on this moving clock.
From the 27-yard line, Joey Kudart recording the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Coach Parks, Coach Toller have to be pretty happy with this effort in the first half.
Especially after Newark was able to control the opening 6 minutes of the football game on the ground. Zanesville's defense forced the fumble and has moved ever since with the football. Myers in an inside carry to the 30, and indeed, broadcast partner is correct. Newark will be content to just run out the clock and try to regroup at halftime. That will be the final play of the second quarter. Buster Howe playing injured, but playing well. And he and the Zanesville Blue Devils lead 14-0 at the break. Our halftime activities begin after these messages.
Cut your credit card costs with the Mutual Federal Visa card. We're cutting the interest rate on our Visa cards to 14.88% interest. You could be paying as high as 22% presently. There is no fee the first year. Pick up a Visa application at Mutual Federal and start cutting your credit card costs.
Mutual friend, Mutual Federal, savings and more.
Hi, folks. I'm Jack Jeffers, your Ford dealer in New Lexington. For the past 12 years, we've told you about the great deals on new Fords here in New Lexington, and you've responded. We're building a new facility. Our present facility has nearly doubled from our grand opening back in 1974. I'd like to personally thank each and every one of you for making it all happen. See me at Jeffers Ford here in New Lexington, and let's make a deal.
A short way to go, or a big way to save. Coming to us, we're saving some big deals for you.
Zanesville's 2 touchdowns occurring in the second quarter after a scoreless first period. Both touchdowns, 10-yard runs by Buster Howe. The first one a 62-yard drive. The second one a 77-yard drive. And when you have a 10-play and an 8-play drive, that brings a smile to the face of a football coach.
Oh, absolutely. Jim, going back to those 2 touchdown runs by Buster, and also some great open field running by Buster. We're going to see on the TV side his run in just a few minutes, but or just a few seconds. He takes a pitch out or a handoff from Anthonette's, fakes back to the right and just goes into the end zone.
The interesting thing about that run, the first touchdown run, was his ability to cut back against the grain. And who do we remember from last year that was able to do that so often and so well?
Oh, Chris Gators, without a doubt. Anyway, Jim, the thing about Buster is Zanesville looked for the worst in the beginning of the game. Newark just marched right down to the field. The Blue Devils forced a fumble. They got it back, stopped Newark from scoring. They didn't use Buster much in the first half or the first quarter, really in the beginning of the second quarter. I mentioned that he hadn't been used much. Maybe he was hurt more than we thought. Next thing you know, bang, 3 plays. He's responsible for all 3. They score. They use him again. He breaks off a great run. You know, what can you say?
It looked like Whit Barks was letting Buster Howe get into the flow of the game.
Could be. Very well could be. Whit may also have been thinking, you know, let's see what we can do without featuring Buster. And by the way, I thought Freeman and Evans ran the ball very well in the half when they had to take up the slack for Buster.
Zanesville's offensive line began in that second quarter to establish the line of scrimmage, and that was a big difference in the first half.
I think in the beginning of the game, both teams came out a little bit tight. You saw timeouts by both teams in the first couple of minutes to make adjustments. And I think once they got going, Zanesville proved that they're probably the better team.
Second touchdown occurred late in the first half, and it was set up by a good pass. This one going from Steve Antonette's to Larry Mail, who's caught 5 on the year for 2 touchdowns and 108 yards.
Well, Antonette's rolls to his left, has Buster Howe open on just a little run from the backfield position. Mail goes outfield on a post, comes back to the football. Good catch.
The interesting thing about a good wideout is his ability to find a seam in the zone, and that's exactly what Mail did.
Well, he came back to the football. He could have just continued his route and said, I'm not going to get it, you know. But he came back. He sensed that he was not going to get the bomb, as it were. Came back to the football and really helped him. Because if this game were 7-0 right now, the Blue Devils would not be in the position they're in right now just because it's 14. It's a good 14, though, Jim.
Devils trying to go 7-3 for 1986, and at halftime now, the performance of the Newark High School marching band. Let's give a listen.
Okay.
Halftime here at John D. Salzburger Memorial Stadium. Zanesville leads Newark 14-0. Halftime activities continue in just a moment.
Are you one of the 38,000 adults in this viewing area who does not have a high school diploma? The Mid-East Ohio Vocational School District is sponsoring adult basic education classes, which are free of charge for any adult wishing to prepare for the GED or high school equivalency test. Classes are available in Muskingum, Perry, Guernsey, Coshocton, and Morgan counties. For more information, call the Adult Basic Education Office at 454-7242.
Looking for a hot tip? Village Inn Pizza's the place to be. Tom Brubaker here inviting you to come in and taste our selection of high-quality products. Watch us as we construct a custom-made pizza made just for you, from the basic crust to the final cutting of the product. Treat yourself to our salad bar or to our famous pizza and pasta buffet, complete with garlic bread. So make your way to our place on Maple Avenue in Zanesville. You will see us very close to Bethesda Hospital. We look forward to your business, and we thank you.
The Zanesville High School Marching Band about to perform with the Devilettes. And Tommy Harlan, how's the stats looking at the break?
Unofficially here at halftime, Jim, in the rushing yards department, Zanesville with 106 yards on 18 carries. The Newark Wildcats on 20 carries have 59 yards. Yards passing shows Zanesville with 64. Steve Antonez 3 for 3 for 64 yards. Buster Howell for 1 on that department. Newark is 4 out of 6 for 40 yards. Zanesville leading in first downs 9-6. Penalties, the Devils getting the worst part of it there. 5 penalties, 35 yards, 1 for 5, the 1 Newark turnover.
And that was a big turnover, too, because that was on an initial drive when Zanesville stopped them at the 10 and took over. Here's an interesting statistic, offensive plays.
Yes, but somewhat misleading. I believe probably 19 of those 26 offensive plays were in the first quarter for the Wildcats. Zanesville, the single possession and punt with 3 plays, and ball control in the second quarter belonging to the Blue Devils.
Halftime activities now continue with a performance by the Zanesville High School Marching Band and the Devilettes. why these youngsters are so often state champions. They are just splendid. Another outstanding performance by the Devilettes and the Zanesville High School Marching Band. Halftime, it's a happy Blue Devil crowd because it is 14-zip. Good guys. Blue Devils over the Wildcats at the break. We'll come back with more halftime activities in just a moment.
There's a kind of quality you get from a product made close to home. Conn's potato chips have that kind of quality. Conn's potato chips are made fresh every day, and they're value priced no matter what size package you choose. Conn's potato chips are made by people who understand what kind of quality you want because they want the same things themselves. Conn's, an Ohio chip made by Ohio people for Ohio people because you deserve the best. Good potato chips taste like Conn's.
I'm Mr. Money'sworth, and I sell the finest quality produce available. It doesn't get any better than at Mr. Money'sworth. Top quality, field fresh produce at the lowest possible price. It's my policy. Top quality at a low price. That's called value. Mr. Money'sworth. It's more than my name. It's my promise.
Save extra this week on Snow Floss tomato juice in the 46-ounce can. Just 8 cents. Limit 1 with coupon and any purchase.
We are back, and a little joking with Grant Hafley, who is our executive producer.
When does my contract expire?
The end of this game.
I'm not renewed.
Yeah, you got to have a little fun now and then. Anyway, we will have a special little presentation at the end of our football game. This will be the end of our, what, third season on the air?
I think
with the TV games? Fourth season.
Fourth says
Grant
Hafley.
That little voice in the sky that nobody seems to hear but us.
The outstanding ABC team who never gets enough credit, and by the way, they are outstanding. A lot of unsung camera work in the rain and the cold, and perhaps in the past some snow, and they really do a good job. Grant Hafley's crew is outstanding. ABC.
I second that emotion. Anyway, we will have a special feature for you at the end of this game, and we'll kind of take a look at the season in retrospect, and it has been a miraculous season, to say the least.
It's been a good one, hasn't it? Some area teams have done very well. Some area teams have obviously not done very well, but their programs are in the rebuilding stages, and I guess it's safe to say that basketball is just around the corner.
Indeed it is. And as per usual, we'll have a full slate of basketball for you as we move towards the season, the end of November. Zanesville will receive the football, and Newark will kick off as we start the second half, and Blue Devil adjustments here as we move into the second half.
Well, I don't think they're going to do anything really overly special. I think they came out in the first half and saw Newark give it their best shot. The Wildcats, unfortunately for them, fumbled. Zanesville took over, and it was pretty much the Blue Devils the rest of the half. Buster Howe got really going in the second quarter, and in my opinion was the difference in that half, his running and pass receiving, as well as a key catch by Larry Mail. Buster was the difference.
Kind of interesting, too. Each team with only 3 possessions in the entire first half. Zanesville punted on its first possession, scored on its last 2. Newark had 3 possessions. They fumbled on their first, went out on downs in the second, and punted on their third.
Well, I think part of that was the game plan of both teams coming in, that they really wanted to control the clock, that they didn't want to give the other team a lot of momentum with quick scores. And I'll tell you what, basketball, football, baseball, any way you want to look at it, when teams score a lot quickly, that's momentum. If you can keep a team on a drive, yeah, they've got momentum, but, you know, it's not the same really as a quick bomb or a 3-run homer or a run of 10 points in basketball.
Troy Salazar will kick it off for Newark to one of 3 Zanesville D people. The guy they want to touch the football, Zanesville is Buster Howell at the 10-yard line. The upbacks at the 20 are Rob Scherer to the right and Gene Evans to the far sideline. The approach of the football, Salazar's kick is a low line drive. Rob Scherer at the 21, and he spins and gets hit right at the 26-yard line and driven back, and that's where Zanesville will start. Devils offensive line shows Matt Shin, Glenn Kuzmal, Don Watts, Rick Slater, and Dave Mallett. Monty Scott is the tight end, Larry Mail the wingback, Jeff Teisinger and Brian McLaughlin the alternating split ends, Antonetts, Freeman, and Howe the backfield. Newark's defense will set it for you in a moment. Devils open up with the power I. Gene Evans will join Freeman and Howe in the backfield. From the 27, make that the 28, first down Zanesville. And the Blue Devils will run with Howe. And Buster this time does not have much room to go at all. In fact, he is knocked down behind the line of scrimmage for a 2-yard loss.
Good tackle that time by Chris Wilson from his cornerback position for the Wildcats.
Front four for Newark. Hottinger at 185, Turner at 175, Rogers at 185, and Burrier at 165. Long, Salazar, and Bennett, the linebackers. Wilson, Kamel, Sherman, and Hardy, the secondary. Second down 12, Zanesville at their own 26-yard line. Here is a scissors play and not anything there at all. And perhaps a loose football. Loose football, and Newark has recovered. Chris Wilson might have jarred it loose, and Rick Rogers has recovered. So Newark comes out with the big hit, and they'll get the first turnover of the game charged against Zanesville.
Gene Evans never really had the football in his grasp as he was hit. He just coughed it up.
Rick Rogers recovers it, so Newark can get back into the football game with a first down at the Zanesville 25. Newark led by Mike Neff, the quarterback, to Mike Glenn, the tailback, and he gets hit as he gets a couple of yards to the 23.
Evans that time on the tackle for the Blue Devils, so he goes right back to defense. Here's Zanesville.
Dan German, Mike Gannan, Dave Douglas, Craig Pearson, and Joe Potts, the Newark offensive line. Abbott, the wide receiver. Willis, the tight end. Taylor, a flanker, with Neff, Myers, and Glenn in the offensive backfield for the Cats. 2nd and 8 from the Zanesville 23-yard line. Power eye in the backfield. And it'll be Mike Glenn hitting the middle, getting stiff resistance, and managing to squeeze out a couple to the 20. Where Zanesville makes the tackle with Bob Gorley and John Porter.
Very important for the Blue Devils on this possession by the Wildcats to shut them down. A touchdown here puts Newark right back in the ball game. And when you start the second half, you really want to score first to just create a little bit better cushion.
Devils defense, Serap, Gorley, Shin, Slater, and Porter up front. Evans and Freeman, the linebackers. McLaughlin, Mayo, Howell, and Kudart, the secondary. 3rd and 5 from the 20. Mike Glenn trying to get outside, won't get there. Tripping him up in the backfield, I think, was Gene Evans, and it was. The sophomore coming through, diving ahead. Might have been on a linebacker blitz, the Red Dog, and he nails the ball carrier at the line of scrimmage. It's 4th and short.
Well, that's a big play by the Blue Devils, and Newark's going to go for it on 4th down.
From the 20-yard line, 4th and a short 5. Neff will throw. Play action. Fires. Incomplete. Intercepted. Zanesville off the deflection. Joey Kudart is on the football, and the Devils defense holds. Joey Kudart got the deflection off the incomplete pass, which appeared to bounce off the shoulder pad of the Newark wide receiver.
Newark had great success with that play in the first half of just throwing the 5-yard quick strike. That time the ball was a little bit high, went off the shoulder pads. Kudart, right spot, right time, Zanesville ball.
Devils take over at the 17, so Zanesville's defense dodges another bullet. Wide receivers either side, and out of the eye, George Freeman diving ahead to near the 20. Knocked down at the 19 he is by Rick Rogers. Helping out on the defensive play for Newark was a down lineman, and that's Kevin Rodenizer, seeing his first action. George Freeman gets a tough 3, 2nd down and 7. We're in the 3rd quarter, 8:14 remaining. Zanesville on top, 14-0 as Mail comes to the near side. McLaughlin goes far side. Devils go with the run. Buster Howe splits the seams, 20, 25. Devil first down as Howe goes down at the 34-yard line.
I think some of those Newark guys are probably saying by this time of the game, how is that guy doing that? Buster is very elusive. Once he breaks a tackle, you just can't get him even though you're pursuing him. He breaks that first tackle. Steve Sherman finally got him, but he breaks that first tackle. Guys are closing in on him, and he just keeps getting away.
Yeah, if you don't wrap on number 3, you are in a lot of trouble.
He gets by the first wave, and nobody can seem to bring him down. Unless there's 5 guys standing there, though.
Tell you what, too, he took the stack for about 3 more yards. 34-yard line after a 13-yard run. Howe with 66 yards rushing, and Whit Parks calls the junior's number again, and he darts ahead to near the 40. Mike Kamal and Chris Burry are teaming up to bring down Buster Howe, who will have a short rest after this football season as he'll get ready for a little bit of round ball.
Yeah, I'll tell you something else about Howe that I've noticed. He always falls forward. He has that instinct that a great back has, that when you get hit, try to go forward. You might get a yard or two extra.
Larry Mail is out. Zanesville with double tight ends on 2nd down and 5 from the Blue Devil 38-yard line. Backs are in the eye. Freeman in front of Buster Howe, and Antonetts will option it ahead, leapfrog one guy at the 40 and dive near the first down marker at the 43. Steve saw the defensive end go down at the 40 and just decided to try to leap over him, and imagine he thought about just leaping over a something that you run in track, huh?
High jump, maybe? I don't know. I don't know anything about high jump. I'll tell you what, he was
You better know something about track.
Well, the only track I know about is the one where the horses go.
He looked like he was running. He looked like he was running the hurdles, is what I was trying to say.
Oh, the hurdles, okay.
3rd and 1, short yardage situation. 3 running backs, and Freeman trying to get there. George appears to have enough for the first down at the 44-yard line. On 3rd and 1, Zanesville going with double tight ends and 3 running backs and knifing ahead for the first down at the 44. We're halfway through the 3rd quarter. Zanesville leading by 2 touchdowns as Tysinger comes out and McLaughlin comes in. The one thing that Zanesville does not want to see here is a turnover to allow Newark to get back into the game. They had one earlier, but the defense managed to come up with another one. So Newark has 2 turnovers, Zanesville 1 for the night. First down run, Buster Howe knifing through, getting a tough 3 to the 47-yard line. So Whit Parks is deciding to keep it on the ground, and why not? Chris Burrier on the stop. He's telling Newark, hey, you stop the run.
This whole half, just by looking at the Blue Devils on the field, they've been crisp and sharp, offensively and defensively. Even after they fumbled early in the 3rd quarter, they were very sharp defensively. They played very well both ways.
16 seniors playing their final game for the guys in white and blue with a 14-0 lead in 2nd and 7. Option right, Antonetts to Howe. Buster trying to get outside, 50-yard line. And he is dragged down in front of the Newark bench at the 46 of the Wildcats.
Steve Sherman made a touchdown-saving tackle that time for the Wildcats. That's a play that I think Zanesville's probably had very good success with this year. The option pass with, or the option play with Buster coming out wide. If he gets by the defensive secondary, he's gone.
The knockdown recorded at the 48-yard line, which will make it 3rd down and short. McLaughlin is in. We have under 5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Zanesville leading 14-0. I tell you, Steve Sherman has been in on a lot of tackles for Newark tonight, and if you're a Wildcat fan, that's not a good sign when the secondary's making the tackle. 3rd and 2. Antonetts, handoff, Howe sweeping left, trying to get outside. Doug, marker goes down. Buster's on his way for a touchdown, but we'll wait and see if it'll count. He's dragged down on a touchdown-saving tackle, diving headlong by Sherman as he downs Howe inside the Zanesville 10. Will check the penalty marker, drop back at midfield. Devils are saying it's against Newark.
They're saying it's a face mask against Newark.
The sweep to the left gains a bunch. Down inside the 15-yard line, the knockdown recorded at the 10. 36-yard run will check the penalty flag.
Well, again, Buster Howe used that stiff arm to get by a would-be tackler from the Wildcats, and if you don't get him right away, you're not going to get him for a while.
I thought for all intents and purposes the story had been written, but Steve Sherman manages to save it for the time being.
He just grabbed a hold of his shoe as Buster was on about the 10-yard line and very close to being 6 points.
The face mask penalty declined. Zanesville will take the run and make it first down and goal to go at the 10-yard line. Power eye in the backfield. Zanesville leading by 2 touchdowns, trying for some more, and Howe won't get there this time as he manages to penetrate the 10-yard line, get to the 9. Guys in white are looking for Buster Howe, the junior, and he is closing in on a 100-yard gain. 13 carries, 84 yards.
Ty Long on the tackle that time for the Wildcats, helped by a few other buddies.
Ball is spotted right at the 10. Gain on the play of maybe 1. That was 1st and 10 from the 11, so Zanesville can get a first down inside the 1. On 2nd and 9 from the 10-yard line. Antonette's quick pop pass. Monty Scott, touchdown.
Jim, I was just going to remark that Zanesville on the 11-yard line, having 1st and 10, had 8 chances in my mind to get it into the end zone. They didn't need 8, they just needed 2.
Steve Antonette's with his 13th touchdown pass of the year, and Monty Scott with his 4th touchdown catch of the year. And Zanesville really set that up well, too.
Well, do you suppose Newark was looking for Buster Howell on a run or Freeman up the middle on a short yardage carry, and they popped Scott?
I don't think there's any doubt about that. Law's try for the 21st point is successful, and we're at the 3:42 mark of the 3rd quarter. Zanesville draws blood in the 2nd half, and the Devils lead it now by 3 touchdowns. 21-0 Zanesville.
Got some 3 great tastes, fresh all day. McDonald's chicken salad Oriental. McDonald's chef salad. McDonald's garden salad.
It's a good time. What a great taste. 3 great tastes. On McDonald's.
Look in your local newspaper the week of October 26th for valuable coupons offering $1 off on McDonald's new chicken salad Oriental and a 99-cent McDLT sandwich. See coupon for details.
Cola, cola, we need more. We're not happy unless we're bored.
Somebody's got to change things around here.
Well,
give me your bottleneck. Maybe you should try something different.
There was something different long ago, but where it went, nobody knows. This Dr. Pepper is extraordinary, exquisitary, tastes good.
Two touchdowns.
Return coming up by Chris Burrier, who gets some good yardage from his 5-yard line. He's still moving with the football outside the 25 and near the 30. Zanesville with another long drive, and that's a time-consuming drive, if you will. 84 yards, 10 plays. The run set it up. Now, that was not the touchdown play. Howe's 37-yard run set it up. It was a 9-yard pass going from Steve Antonette's to tight end Monty Scott.
Yes, Buster did set it up with an outstanding run, and he very nearly broke it.
From the Newark 29, let's see if the Cats will decide to air it out. Trailing now by 3 touchdowns. Neff wants to throw, has Mike Kamal, his leading receiver, Joey Coudard on the tackle, and the play carries to near the Zanesville 40. 11-yard pass play, Neff hitting Mike Kamal, and it's a first down.
Jim, I think we may see more of that as the 3rd quarter winds down in the 4th quarter. That really has been there all night, just the short pass to a wide out or the tight end right over the middle.
First catch on the evening by Kamal goes for 12 and a Newark first down at their own 41-yard line. They move it left to right, trailing by 21-0. Neff again will throw, fires, intercepted nearly. Boy, Zanesville nearly had a headlong diving interception at midfield. Larry Mail almost got to the football to make a tremendous INT, but he couldn't hang on. 2nd down and 10. Newark has not decided to throw the football long yet, and they keep on trying those little curl patterns about 10 yards out, and Mail had read it that time. From the 41, 2nd and 10. 2:46 to play in the 3rd. Newark trails Zanesville 21-0. Draw play, Mike Glenn. And he draws a lot of coverage from the Zanesville linebackers, namely Gene Evans.
And George Freeman.
Give Mike Glenn a gain of 1. It's 3rd and 9 from the 42. 2:29 to play in the 3rd period. Zanesville scored 2 touchdowns in the 2nd quarter, both 10-yard runs by Howe. In the 3rd period, Antonette's with his first touchdown pass of the night going to Monty Scott. 3rd and 9 Newark from their own 42. Wide slot left. Quickly they go to Kamal. Makes the catch and is stripped of the football at the 49-yard line. Incomplete forward pass. What a hit there.
Good hit. And the officials, I think, gave the Newark Wildcats a little bit of a break there because he was turning upfield after he caught it, and they ruled it an incomplete pass.
Joe Coudart really nailed Mike Kamel and forced a separation from the football. On 4th and 9 from the 42, a Wildcat punt. Howell is back deep at the 25-yard line. The snap is true. The kick is away by Neff. Line drive kick to the far sideline. They're kicking away from Buster Howell. Out of bounds, 35-yard line of Zanesville. 28 yards on the kick, no return, and the Devils offense will come back on with a 21-0 lead.
And playing with great confidence and great execution. Take away the fumble they had early in the third quarter and just a nearly perfect second half so far.
Talk about enthusiasm and hitting in the Newark Zanesville game. Boom, right there. From the 36-yard line, Zanesville with a first down. And George Freeman hits the middle and is knocked down at the 29-yard line. He'll gain a tough 4. Tell you what, these young men tomorrow morning will be very sore. There's been some hitting going on down there. 10-6 Zanesville on top as far as first downs are concerned, and 21-0 as far as the scoreboard is concerned.
Well,
1:36 to play in the third.
Pardon me, they may be sore the day after, but a win, and the game's not over yet, but a win makes it a whole lot nicer.
From the 29, Antonette's to Howe. Here comes Buster to the near sideline, tripped up as he reaches the 31-yard line. That's a nice play by Chris Burrier, who knifed through the attempted block by George Freeman. Burrier's played a very steady game from right defensive end. 3rd and a long 4. 1 minute to play in the third quarter as Jeff Tysinger comes in. So does Gene Evans. Short yardage situation, Mail will check out. Newark will bring 6 men up on the line of scrimmage looking for the run. Evans is lined up as a wing right. Antonette's options right. Steve will turn it upfield, diving ahead, first down and more to the 40-yard line. Antonette's has run the option brilliantly tonight. Steve Sherman on the tackle, and Steve just watched the way. The trick to operating the option, Howard, is what?
Well, you've got to draw the defense to you, which is exactly what he did. I'll tell you why that was a great play call, because you've got to key on Buster Howe if you're the defense, and that's exactly what they did. That's what I'd do. I think that's what anyone would do. He's the guy that can kill you, and Antonette's just did a good job.
The idea of the quarterback is to read the eyes of the defensive lineman. Where they go, he doesn't. Freeman, quick pop inside. George has almost enough for a first down near midfield. He's chopped down after a 9-yard pickup to the 49-yard line by Chris Wilson. And we have reached the end of the third quarter. One more quarter left as Zanesville tries to make it 3 in a row over the Wildcats. And right now, the Devils have a 3-touchdown lead. Zanesville 21, Newark nothing. The fourth quarter coming up.
Cut your credit card costs with the Mutual Federal Visa card. We're cutting the interest rate on our Visa cards to 14.88% interest. You could be paying as high as 22% presently. There is no fee the first year. Pick up a Visa application at Mutual Federal and start cutting your credit card costs.
Mutual friend, Mutual Federal, savings and more.
Hi, folks. I'm Jack Jeffers, your Ford dealer in New Lexington. For the past 12 years, we've told you about the great deals on new Fords here in New Lexington, and you've responded. We're building a new facility. Our present facility has nearly doubled from our grand opening back in 1974. I'd like to personally thank each and every one of you for making it all happen. See me at Jeffers Ford here in New Lexington, and let's make a deal.
A short way to go, or a big way to save. Coming to us, we're saving some big deals for you.
From the 49 on a second and short run, Buster Howe will get the 2 plus about 5 more to the Newark 44-yard line. Howe closing in on a 100-yard gain. Jason Hardy, the junior cornerback, 5'10", 160 on the tackle. Buster Howe unofficially now has gained over 100 yards, 122 going into that rush. Tack on 7 more. 129 yards rushing unofficially on the evening for Buster Howe. Larry Mail comes to the right, receiver to the left, backs in the eye, first down play, quick pop pass to tight end Monty Scott, and it was thrown a little bit too far ahead of him. Monty had the linebackers drawn in that time looking for the run.
Well, it was the same play they ran for the touchdown the last time they had the ball on the 10-yard line. And, yeah, Monty was open, just to let him just a little bit. He couldn't quite get a hold of it.
At the Nets has had a very successful night passing the football, 4 out of 5 for 74 yards. So that's Steve's first misfire of the night. Second down and 10 from the 44-yard line of Newark. Zanesville leading and looking for more. Howe sweep right. Buster trying to turn the corner, does, but as he does, he is crushed at the 40-yard line. Gets the nose of the football inside the 40 and driven down by the cornerback, Jason Hardy.
That time he had Monty Scott and George Freeman out in front of him blocking. They did a very good job of leading him on the play. And once again, the sideline pretty much stopped Buster. He could have just turned the corner. There you see Freeman and Scott blocking for him. He turns the corner, but he just runs out of room.
Hardy did a good job of meeting Buster head on and recording the knockdown at the 38-yard line. Larry Mail to the left, Brian McLaughlin to the right. Running backs are Freeman and Howe on 3rd and 3 from the 38. Howe sweeping left. Can he get outside? Dives ahead. Should have a first down, but a penalty flag is thrown. Howe goes down at the 34, and the marker goes down in the Zanesville backfield. Chris Burrier, the tackler for Newark. Wildcats last year 2-8, 2-7 coming into this game, so a couple of disappointing years for the people from Newark. 10:47 to play in the contest. The Zanesville team moving back.
We'll get the indication in a few seconds. They're going to say clip by the Blue Devils.
Step off back to the 49-yard line. Replay the down. Make it 3rd down now and 14.
Well, if Zanesville can keep the ball going by way of a first down, they're going to be in great shape because they'll keep that clock moving here in the 4th quarter.
Mail is slotted right. Wide out is Jeff Tysinger. Passing formation on 3rd and long. Antonette's back, looking, running for his life. Will fire the football, incomplete. Good heady play by Steve as he got rid of the football as he knew he was in danger of being sacked back at the 40-yard line. Good pass rush applied by Newark.
He was being chased down by Chris Burrier, one of the defensive ends, and Steve did a nice job of getting rid of the ball. It was in the vicinity of a receiver, but yet it was out of bounds.
Tell you, Burrier, Hardy, and Sherman have played stellar games tonight for Newark on the defensive end of it.
Steve gets rid of it. It goes out of bounds. The ball boy has a chance to get it. Doesn't make the catch, but he'll make that catch eventually.
Howe will punt as it's 4th down and 13 from the 49. Newark doesn't go after Howe, and he gets away a low-line drive. 1 bounce, 2 bounces. Willis lets it go. Zanesville will down it inside the 10. 43 yards on the punt and no return. Domination by Zanesville on the scoreboard and also on the stat sheet.
196 yards rushing for the Blue Devils to just 66 for Newark. 74-52 in the passing for the Blue Devils. 14-7 first downs. 5 penalties for Zanesville for 35 yards, so nothing real major. 2 turnovers for Newark, 1 for the Blue Devils.
So with the exception of that 6-minute span in the first quarter, Zanesville has just dominated this game. From the 8, the Devil defense will tee off. Mike Glenn gets the handoff and gets nothing. Maybe a yard to the 9. He was trying to get to the outside, and there was 3 or 4 Devils right there. Bob Gorley, who might get defensive star of the game, he rides down the ball carrier, Clark Myers.
He's been right there. I'll tell you something, Jim. With that play right there, you can pretty much tell the game plan of the Wildcats coming in was to run the football. They did it very well the first time they had it. They've not done it well since they fell behind, and it's just been a struggle all night for them.
Jim Taylor is split to the near sideline with a wide receiver to the right and split backs on 2nd and 9 for Mike Neff, who's rolling right and flaring out the pass. It is caught by Brian Abbott shy of the 20-yard line. He'll have enough for a first down. Abbott is hit immediately out of and driven out of bounds by Brian McLaughlin.
Well, you're maybe asking the Wildcats to do something they may not do well, and that's throw the ball up the field. But at this point, trailing 21-0, they've got to get upfield with 9:11 to go.
10 yards on the first down pass going from Neff to Brian Abbott. Mike Neff's statistics tonight, 6 of 11, 62 yards. Newark has been charged with 2 turnovers. Zanesville has a total of 1. First down pass from Neff. Looking, flaring it out, incomplete. Receiver had fallen down at the 29-yard line. And that was the tight end, Kevin Willis. McLaughlin had the coverage. 2nd and 10. Clock shows 9:06 to play, 4th quarter. Zanesville scored twice in the 2nd quarter, both 10-yard Howe runs. And Antonette's 9-yard touchdown pass to Scott. That's where we stand in the 4th period, 21-0 Zanesville. In motion near sideline is Mike Glenn on a 2nd down pass, and it goes to a man out of the backfield who makes the reception and is dropped down shy the 30-yard line. George Freeman rides down the tight end, Kevin Willis. Joe Coudard helped out. And it should be enough for a first down, and is. 11-yard pickup to the 30-yard line and a first down. Zanesville, though, is going to give Newark those short passes. They don't want anything deep.
Well, they really have all night on just a little curl or the slant pattern, and so far it's been successful for Zanesville.
Coudard had the initial hit. Freeman finished the job. Flare pass in the left flat is incomplete.
Free play.
And a marker down as the pass was intended for Brian Abbott. Coudard had the coverage right in front of the Zanesville bench.
There was a Zanesville guy running like crazy to get off the field that time, but unfortunately he got flagged, and it really is unfortunate because he was doing a sprint to the sideline and just couldn't get off fast enough. He was very nearly at the sideline, and the official threw the flag.
8:44 remaining. The 5-yard step off for too many men on the field against Zanesville, and that'll make it marked off to the 35-yard line. So it's 1st and 5. Newark, really, with the exception of that initial drive, has not been able to move the football, although they've gotten now 2 first downs on this drive, which started at their 8th. Backs in the eye, receivers either side, a wide slot right on 1st and 5 from the 35. Now they shift into split backs, and Neff will throw. Again, flare pass, completes it over the 40 for a Newark first down to the 46-yard line. Jim Taylor on the pass reception. Freeman had the coverage along with Evans.
Jim, I think you'll see Zanesville tighten up here any play now, because I think they want that shutout. You know, they're looking at it right now. I don't think they really want Newark to march down the field, nickeling and diming, taking a lot of time. I think they want a shutout. I think they'd rather get beat long on a bomb and try to stop the short stuff than get marched down the field on.
Newark's out of the huddle very quickly, and Glenn on the draw play. Big yardage inside the Devil 40 and drilled by Howell as he gets to the 39. I'll tell you what, if Mike Glenn had ideas of moving beyond the 35-yard line, Buster Howe...
No way.
Said no way.
They ran out of the quick huddle that time. Looked like the Cincinnati Bengals.
Good play set up here, taking advantage of the Zanesville pass rush. The hit by Howe was a devastating one. Boom. My goodness, he drove him back 2 yards. From the 38, first down pass, Mike Neff rolling right for Newark and looking. Now he's going to hold the football and try to get some yardage, and he manages to get back to the line of scrimmage, the 38-yard line, before he is dropped by George Freeman.
Good coverage that time by Zanesville. They gave him nothing on the pass route.
Play is at the 38-yard line where it's 2nd down and 10. So Newark has put together their best drive since the first quarter, starting at their own 8, now reaching the Zanesville 38 where it's 2nd and 10. Abbott to the right, Taylor to the left. Slot to the right with Willis. Right side set. Here's Mike Glenn again, rambling into the Zanesville secondary and downed inside the 25-yard line. Mike Glenn is knocked down by Mike Serap and John Porter, but not before he has enough for another Newark first down.
This resembles the first drive of the game for the Wildcats.
Zanesville leads 21-0, but Newark on a drive. Mike Glenn's a good, hard running back.
He's shifty.
Serap and Howe on the coverage for Zanesville. And the Devils have called time. 7:39 remaining. It is Zanesville 21, Newark nothing.
Are you one of the 38,000 adults in this viewing area who does not have a high school diploma? The Mid-East Ohio Vocational School District is sponsoring adult basic education classes, which are free of charge for any adult wishing to prepare for the GED or high school equivalency test. Classes are available in Muskingum, Perry, Guernsey, Coshocton, and Morgan counties. For more information, call the Adult Basic Education Office at 454-7242.
How long has it been since you shared a meal with us? Tom Brubaker here for Billy Gin, inviting you in for a family treat. Take a close look at our super fresh salad bar and also enjoy our complete pizza and pasta buffet, served with hot, crisp garlic bread. And of course, when you order a custom-made pizza, you can almost see it made before your eyes, from scratch to the final cutting. You can also enjoy our old-time movies shown daily after 5 p.m. Billy Gin Pizza is located on Maple Avenue in the shadows of Bethesda Hospital in Zanesville.
From the 24, Newark with a first down following the Zanesville timeout. Split backs, wide slot right, left set. Glenn diving ahead in near the 20-yard line. Freeman was at the bottom of that one. George Freeman has had a fine year, 5'11", 195, and a senior. Played really steady football. Glenn darts ahead for 5, and Mike Glenn now is nearing 100 yards rushing. 18 carries, 83 yards. Twin receivers to the right. Wide out to the left is Willis. On 2nd and 5 from the Zanesville 20. Newark trying to get on the board for the first time tonight, but whistles blow the play dead. 7:05 left in the regular season for both of these clubs. Next week, we hope to have a couple of teams in the playoffs. And we hopefully will have radio coverage as well.
We're looking at the possibility of the Sheridan Generals and the Crooksville Ceramics from the MVL.
You know, we talked about this a couple of nights ago on our TV sportscast. We've really been fortunate since the playoff system has started to have at least one team in the playoffs each and every season.
Yeah, I think it says something about this area's football. It's very good.
From the 16, it's 2nd down and 1. Make that 3rd and 1, I believe. Rolling right, Neff, firing, end zone, incomplete. Mail had the coverage. The intended receiver leaping for the football to try to come down with it. And that was
Jim Taylor.
At the 5, incomplete, 3rd and short. That was 2nd and 1. It is 3rd and short. 6:45 remaining in the contest. Ball at the 15-yard line. They have to get just inside the 15 for the first down. Myers and Glenn in the backfield. Ball at the 15. 3rd and short. Dive play, left side, Glenn. First down, still on his feet at the 10. Diving ahead to the Zanesville 5. First down and goal to go, Newark. So Mike Glenn showing some good hard running as he reaches the 6-yard line and will keep the Newark drive alive, which started at the 8.
Kudar was in on the tackle for Zanesville that time. By the way, Glenn's a pretty good football player, Jim. He's had a very good game.
9 yards on the run by Mike Glenn. First down, goal to go at the 5. 21-0 Zanesville. Newark driving, and Glenn wanted to be the recipient of the football, but I'll tell you what, Zanesville downed Mike Neff before he could even hand it off.
George Freeman was blitzing, and yeah, he was right there standing, saying, "You're not going anywhere."
Loss in the play, 2. It's back to the 7. 2nd down, goal to go. 6 minutes remain. Newark trying to get on the scoreboard, and Zanesville trying to preserve the shutout. Devils have the goal line in. 2nd and goal from the 7. Clark Myers, play action fake. Neff to throw to Myers into the end zone. He goes for the touchdown. So the Wildcat bench and the fans far sideline something to cheer about on the 5-yard touchdown pass going from Neff, who hit Myers at the 1, and he barreled into the end zone, and it's 21-6.
And that was a good drive. I don't care if Zanesville was playing prevent defense or letting up a little bit or what have you. That was a doggone good drive. And here we go, Newark going for 1 or 2.
Well, there's the lonesome polecat. The center, the kicker, and the placement holder lined up to the right of the formation. Now they shift over, and it looks like they'll go for 1. Mike Neff is the place kicker. Snap, set, kick is through. 21-7. Newark is on the board, courtesy of a Mike Neff touchdown pass to Clark Myers. Back with the final 5:42 in a moment.
Good potato chips taste like Conn's because Conn's uses the finest potatoes available, years of experience, and a real concern for quality. With these ingredients, Conn's continues to set the standards for delicious tasting potato chips. Their golden texture comes from being gently fried in the lightest soybean oil. Then, only the best chips are chosen for packages small enough for your lunchbox or large enough for a party. Conn's always looking for new ways of perfecting the potato chip, although some folks seem to think Conn's couldn't taste better.
I'm Mr. Money'sworth, and I sell the finest quality produce available. It doesn't get any better than at Mr. Money'sworth. Top quality, field fresh produce at the lowest possible price. It's my policy. Top quality at a low price. That's called value. Mr. Money'sworth. It's more than my name. It's my promise.
Extra this week on Snow Floss tomato juice in the 46-ounce can. Just 8 cents. Limit 1 with coupon and any purchase.
Onside kick attempt. Zanesville has recovered at the 49-yard line. Neff hitting Myers from 7 yards out, 92 yards, 13 plays. Newark on the board. Wildcats trying the onside kick, and everybody in the stadium knew about that, and Zanesville made sure that they got the football wrapped and went down at the 49.
George Freeman on the recovery for the Blue Devils.
So Zanesville with good field position at the 49. Devils with a tight formation, they'll run. Buster Howe trying to get outside, knifing through Steve Sherman. And number 3 tackles number 3 for a 2-yard loss at the 48-yard line. Second down, 11.
I'll tell you what, Jim, Zanesville probably better get a first down or two in this drive, or they may find themselves punting the ball and Newark putting together another pretty good drive. I think this is really a safe lead, but they got to get something going.
21-7 Zanesville with 4:54 remaining. Mail is a wing right. They're tight left. Backs are in the eye. Freeman and Howe. George in the middle. Nothing. Tell you what, Freeman hit a concrete wall that time. And churning through and making the tackle, Doug Turner. Kevin Rodenizer was also there. So Newark has stopped Zanesville on 2 consecutive runs, and it's 3rd and a long 11. Now, what do you do here? Put it up?
Well, I think you have to try and get a first down. I'd say they're going to put it up or get the ball in Buster's hands somehow.
Power I, running formation, double tight ends, 3 running backs. Howe will try to get the first down right. Will get 5, maybe 6 to the Newark 44. So Zanesville plays it by the book, and the Devils will punt. We'll check the Newark rush. I got to imagine if you're Newark, you're going to rush everybody here. Try for the block, and with 3:51 to go down, a couple of touchdowns. Look to try to get the ball in good field position.
Buster Howe is so quick with his cuts and sees the field so well. He just darts and cuts in and slashes and always falls forward. Just an outstanding runner.
From the 45, Newark will rush, well, 9. Now they peel off. They'll rush 7. Howe's kick is underway, and he is nailed in the backfield. There's going to be a roughing the kicker penalty. Buster was just nailed at the 42, but he gets up all right. He had 3 guys just hit him right as he kicked the football away. So Newark went for the block. They don't get it, and Zanesville will get the ball back.
Chris Wilson, Rick Rogers, and another guy in a white shirt and red pants all were there, and really unfortunately for the Wildcats, just didn't get any part of the ball. They got Buster, and that's all that counts, I suppose, if you're a Zanesville fan, huh?
3:25 remaining on a night that is just picture perfect for high school football.
Yes.
When is the cool fall weather going to arrive? Not that I'm complaining, mind you.
There's supposed to be frost on the pumpkins any week now, Coach.
By the way, I appreciate you wearing your mask tonight for the game to celebrate Halloween here. The tail end of the roughing the kicker penalty, no doubt about that one.
And the other guy in there was Jason Hardy, and all three of them can take credit for not hitting the ball, but hitting Buster.
First down, Zanesville at the Newark 40. With a wing right and the backs in the eye. Option near sideline. Howe gets the pitch and gets knocked down shy of the line of scrimmage.
Interesting kind of play. They ran the option to the short side of the field.
I'll tell you what, Newark's defense is still out there hitting, and that's what you expect in a Newark-Zanesville game. They have not given in. Neither team's going to give in this game, folks. 31-yard line, yard loss, second down and 11. Clock shows under 3 minutes to play in the contest. Zanesville with 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. Antonette's 9-yard pass to Monty Scott in the third. Newark scored moments ago to make it 21-7. That's where we stand. Zanesville on 2nd and 11. Howe will run it and dive ahead and get 2 back to the 29. Chris Wilson with the stop.
Well, once again, Zanesville's looking at a situation where Newark's going to take a timeout, I believe. Zanesville's in a situation where if they hang on to the ball, get a couple of more first downs, they can wrap this thing up, and last time out, they didn't have a chance.
3rd down and 9 when we come back. 2:32 remaining. It is 21-7, Zanesville over Newark. Action here at John D. Salzberger Memorial Stadium, where the fans, partisan Zanesville fans, will leave very happy. Some of them heading for the exits right now. A most successful Zanesville football season at 7-3.
Not a bad year, and especially defensively. You know, they had the 2 shutouts. Upper Arlington was the team that scored the most points on them. That was in the opener where they scored 24. 2 other occasions, teams scored more than 10. That's it.
Let's look at this Zanesville defense, too, because you'll have some guys returning next year, namely Mike Serap, who's a junior, Bob Gorley, who's a junior, a couple of defensive linemen. You got the sophomore linebacker, Gene Evans, and you got Buster Howe and Larry Mail in the secondary. That's a pretty good nucleus to build around.
Yeah, there's some real good athletes in there, and I think you win with athletes.
Joey Coudard as well, so 3 of the 4 guys in the secondary returned, along with Rob Scher, who's only a junior. So you got a pretty good nucleus there, and keep in mind, too, that the Zanesville reserves were unbeaten for the 2nd straight year. Inside handoff to George Freeman on 3rd and 9, and George gets ahead to the 25, so the future bodes well for Whit Parks and the Blue Devils.
It really does, and anytime you've got an outstanding player coming back, such as the case with Buster Howe next year, you're really in a good position because he'll emerge as a leader, and he'll emerge as a player who does it by example.
4th down and 5, and Newark stops the clock with the ball at the Wildcat 25-yard line and 2:20 remaining. Donis Toller, line coach of Zanesville. Boy, he's been through a lot of these wars, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, as a player and as a coach.
By the way, we might remark that Donis Toller Jr. is doing a tremendous job as a running back in that offense supplied by Dennison. And he had something like 130 yards a week ago, a couple of touchdowns. So Donis doing a nice job running the football at Dennison.
Good player and a nice kid.
Indeed. That's that old single wing attack Keith Piper runs at Dennison. That's interesting to watch, even more interesting to call. From the 25, 4th and 5, Zanesville in Newark territory, leading by 2 touchdowns, 21-7. Devils will fake the run, look for the pass. Antonette's rolls right. He's throwing for the end zone. McLaughlin, touchdown!
Great catch.
Well set up as well. Zanesville scores and makes it 26-7, and a marker is down in the end zone. Make that 27-7 with the extra point coming up. Somebody's going to be flagged for a late hit in the end zone, I believe. Antonette's with play action.
He rolls out to his right, his strong side, looks, finds Brian McLaughlin, who stretches out. Got it on the extension. Great catch, great throw.
Brian McLaughlin with his 2nd touchdown catch of the year. Coming into this game, 7 catches, 153 yards. You look at the Zanesville receiving corps, they've spread the wealth this year. Law's extra point attempt is up and through. It's 28-7 with 2:13 remaining, and the Devils on their way to their third straight win over Newark. Back in a moment.
Three great tastes, fresh all day. McDonald's chicken salad Oriental. McDonald's chef salad. McDonald's garden salad.
It's a good time. What a great taste. Three great tastes. Of McDonald's.
Look in your local newspaper the week of October 26th for valuable coupons offering $1 off on McDonald's new Chicken Salad Oriental and a 99-cent McDLT sandwich. See coupon for details.
Hello, stranger. And stranger yet. What do you have?
Something different. The color wars are over. Nothing different.
I have something different.
Better ice cold.
The penalty was assessed against Newark for a late hit following the touchdown, so Howe kicks off from the Newark 45-yard line and nails it 8 yards deep into the end zone. Again, you think the next year, Buster Howe, not only back playing safety and tailback, but also as Zanesville's place kicker.
And punter.
Tell you what, too, opposing defenses in basketball will look for this young man at point guard next year. Whit Parks on the Zanesville sidelines with the smile of a victory. And I'll tell you, a victory over Newark really is a sweet victory indeed, because that makes it a good winner.
We've got another penalty here. I think it's against Zanesville for...
Might be an offside call.
Not of that length.
It'll be a personal foul apparently assessed on the coverage team. So unsportsmanlike conduct will give Newark the ball at the 35, and Neff will throw. He's being rushed hard, flares it out, lets it fly. It is nearly caught by Mike Kamel inside the Zanesville 40. Joey Kudart was out there along with Buster Howe. Pass was there, but it was overthrown by just about a yard and a half. Second down and 10 with 2:07 remaining. So Zanesville has scored 2 times rushing, 2 times through the air. Antonette's on the year now with 13 touchdown passes. Make that 14 touchdown passes. Very good year for Steve. Slot to the near side of the field. Split backs and a wide out to the right for Newark on 2nd and 10 from their 35. Hard rush. Flaring it out. Incomplete. Mike Len, the intended receiver, out of the backfield. And he was covered by Gene Evans. Pass intended at the 39-yard line. Glenn couldn't hold on, and it's 3rd and 10. Mike Neff, 9 of 18 tonight, 91 yards. Steve Antonette's, on the other hand, for the evening, 4 out of 7, 99 yards and 2 touchdowns. From the 35, 3rd and 10 Newark with 2:01 to play in the game. And Neff's 3rd consecutive pass attempt, throwing as he was hit, and it's incomplete. Mike Serf, the junior, was in on Mike Neff and had him as he was throwing the football at the 29-yard line.
Yeah, he didn't have much time that time.
You know right now that Zanesville's front 5 just teeing off and coming full force because they know that Newark will have to put the ball up in the air. On 4th and 10 with 1:57 to play, the Wildcats will go after it at the 35-yard line, middle of the field. Back to pass, Neff, looking, floating it out. Right side for Kamau, overshoots him. Kudart had the coverage on the sideline pattern at the 50, and Zanesville's offense back onto the field. With 1:53 to play, Zanesville takes over on downs at the 35-yard line of Newark.
Well, if there was any doubt before that series, there's certainly no doubt now. Zanesville, in my humble opinion, has had this ball game wrapped up since halftime. I thought they went in great shape, and I thought they've done nothing in the second half besides the one fumble early in the 3rd quarter, have done nothing to hurt their causes. A great game by Zanesville.
So now all Zanesville has to do is run the football and nail the clock, which shows 1:53. Howe will run it and get hit once and manage to get 6 yards as he was hit initially at the 35 and drives ahead to the 30. I was mentioning early the ability of Zanesville's wideouts to catch the football. Coming into this game, Monty Scott led the way with 15 catches. What a night for Buster Howe. Monty Scott led with 15 catches. Theisinger had 8, McLaughlin 7, Mayo 5, and Howe had 8. That's spreading around the well. At the 29, 2nd and 4. And Howe will lead. Buster Howe with a great night. He is out. It's 2nd and 5. And Zanesville, with a run, will get to the 28-yard line. Gene Evans on the ball carrier. Check that. Rob Scher, his first carry of the night. And the junior, at 175 pounds, gets the ball to the 27-yard line with less than a minute to play in the game and 3rd and 4.
Hey, boo-boo. Hey, boo-boo. Say hi, Mom. Buster Howe is a modest young man in addition to his numerous abilities on the athletic playing field or the hardwood.
Tell you, interestingly enough, too, the young man leads by example. Quiet leader. He's the kind of guy that you look up to and doesn't say all that much, but boy, when he says it, you listen.
You know, I've gotten to know Buster through Vicky Fulton, who's a basketball player at Maysville, and their cousins. And Buster's just a quality person.
The interesting thing about Buster Howe, too, is he approaches life with a smile. And that's the kind of young man you love to really have as a friend.
Yeah, he really is. He's a leader in the neighborhood, at school, and on the athletic playing area. And that you can't ask for a better combination than that.
Zanesville now will just follow the football with 32 seconds to play, and Newark out of timeouts. Antonetz goes down on one knee. Clock shows 28 seconds to play, and the clock will wind down on a Zanesville victory. Well, there was some talk earlier this week in Newark about the Zanesville schedule, and I think that has been settled now and forever.
Well, you know, maybe they want to include themselves as being one of the patsies on the schedule, because they certainly were tonight. They didn't really show me much, Jim.
No reflection on the Newark coaching staff or anything else, because it was written by a newspaper man, but he was wrong. Zanesville, a big victory, and the Blue Devils will end 1986 at 7-3. Newark is 2-8. It was a victory in which Zanesville scored twice on the ground, twice through the air.
And Buster Howe did it all once again.
Howe unofficially with 147 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and playing with a pulled groin. Howe on this play will go to the left and look for daylight and then cut against the grain.
That's his first touchdown of the night that we're seeing on the TV side. He starts left, cuts back to the right. He danced in about 8 yards for the final 6.
Zanesville on the evening dominant, 226 yards rushing, 99 through the air, plus 2 touchdown passes by Steve Antonetz, 17 first downs, 8 penalties for 60 yards. Newark with 109 yards rushing, 91 passing, 13 first downs, 2 penalties for 20 yards, and the 2 turnovers loom very big. The first one was on the opening drive when Newark was trying to get on the board. The second one happened in the 3rd quarter, trailing 14-0 when they got the ball. We're trying to drive and turn it over again.
Both of them really hurt them. Both opportunities really hurt them in the sense that they could have went ahead or gotten back into the game.
Steve Antonetz in the 3rd quarter would really cross up Newark. They were looking for the run here on the goal line play down at the 7-yard line, and Antonetz goes quickly to the tight end, Monty Scott. Scott with the touchdown reception, and for Monty, that was his 4th touchdown of the year and his 16th catch of the year. Actually, his 17th catch. He caught one earlier in the game. Zanes and the Blue Devils going over to ring the bell just a bit.
The final touchdown of the evening for the Blue Devils is a pass from Steve Antonetz to Brian McLaughlin.
I thought both touchdown passes, too, tonight were well set up.
Yeah, they were. They were the right call at the right time. The one to Monty Scott from 10 yards out, it looked like it was going to be a run. They just popped Monty right over the middle, and Antonetz did a good job of hitting him right away.
Interestingly enough, we talked to Brian McLaughlin Thursday, and I asked him what he worked on his pass receiving during the year. He said, not really, just worked on my footwork.
Well, I think footwork in athletics is very important, and if you can get those feet moving, you got a chance to go.
Well, as Wendy Windland would say, Big Blue a winner tonight. Zanesville defeats Newark 28-7. Upcoming, we'll talk to Whit Parks.
Cut your credit card costs with the Mutual Federal Visa card. We're cutting the interest rate on our Visa cards to 14.88% interest. You could be paying as high as 22% presently. There is no fee the first year. Pick up a Visa application at Mutual Federal and start cutting your credit card costs.
Mutual Federal, savings and more.
Hi, folks. I'm Jack Jeffers, your Ford dealer in New Lexington. For the past 12 years, we've told you about the great deals on new Fords here in New Lexington, and you've responded. We're building a new facility. Our present facility has nearly doubled from our grand opening back in 1974.